Racing points here. Tonight will mark the halfway point of the season, and what a venue it will be held at. You might remember it is as you might remember it as last season's opener. You might remember it as F1's real life F1 2020 season opener. And if you haven't guessed it already, it is of course the Red Bull Ring. But before we get started, my name is Carol, and please welcome my co-commentator Jamie.
Good evening, everybody. Hope you're doing well.
The Red Bull Ring, so hopefully it's going to be very interesting. Very short track, so a lot of laps, 36 laps if I'm not mistaken, so we should see some great overtaking.
Yeah, the grid should be really competitive around there. Yeah, 16 drivers tonight, so hopefully give us a good run. As I'll mention our partners, we've got Verspatine, who are sponsoring our prizes this season. We've got more prizes than ever before. We've got ERT, who are sponsoring the Gun Gets Tough Awards. That will be drawn at the end of the season. That's for drivers outside the top three who take part in all the pre and pro racing interviews. And we've got a collaboration with Time to Print. You get 20% off this week's track in the Etsy store using the code OneHubRacing.
Yeah, we also got as our sponsors Next Level Racing, Liam RBS, and 3M Sim Racing, who will be providing their gloves for driver of the most poles and driver of the most fastest laps.
Yeah, should be a good prize for them. As I mentioned, our track facts, obviously it is the shortest track on the calendar at 4.3 kilometres, 2.6 miles. There's 10 corners, 3 left-handed, 7 right-handed. There's 36 laps. You've got 3 DRS zones in between turn 1 and turn 3, in between turn 3 and turn 4, and on the pit straight. And the tyres are C4, the soft tyre, C3 the medium, and C2 the hard. The C4 will last 16 laps, and there's a 0.8 second gap to the C3 tyre, which lasts 21 laps, and there's a 4/10 gap to the C2, which will last 26 laps. The pit stop last round here is 18 seconds, and we've had 31 one-hub racing races held over 12 seasons. And last season, in the prospect here, Truth NRP won the race, so he'll be looking to maybe try and bounce back, and he's got some good form from previous seasons.
Yeah, Truth NRP. He has history at this track. He won here last season, and after some disappointing results, I must say, in the past few races, he'll be looking to bounce back to that first race where he got that win in points here.
Yeah, he'll definitely is. Yeah, the Red Bull team had a few shaky races, but they've got some good pace. But the likes of Mercedes and McLaren are starting to pull away the Constructors' Championships. They need to get back on form. There's a beautiful day in the Styria Mountains for his qualifying session.
It really is, and in the pre-race interviews, one of the questions was, would you like to see rain around the circuit? And I think every single driver in the points here said a definite no to that answer, but many said that they do have a wet setup just in case that happens. So you'll have to be looking out for that one.
Yeah, like Chunders, he said he has a wet setup, and yeah, it should be obviously beautiful days. So yeah, dry setups all the way here for qualifying. And interesting, this track is such a short track. We may see some drivers maybe do 4 runs in qualifying. That is doable, but you have to really time it perfectly. And I do bet to see 3 runs on the soft tyres as it's obviously Joe, as our post last week was Thomas. Obviously, he didn't win last week, but his championship days got extended because his competitors like Lawrence and Truth had incidents in Belgium. So it wasn't looking good for Thomas with 5 laps to go. But it certainly got better towards in the race because the likes of Truth NRP and Lawrence lost opportunities to close the gap to the leaders. And Killplay, I have to say, his strategy of doing 2 pit stops behind the safety car last week, it worked out well for him on the hard tyres. He's the only driver to test it on the hard tyres. Because of that, he won the race brilliantly.
Yeah, his strategy of fitting in under the safety car did absolute wonders, and our weatherman, Gaza man, has just spoken in chat, and sorry to spoil it to you, it's going to be a heavy rain race with dry in the middle and then heavy rain yet again at the end.
Oh, very changeable conditions. Yeah, that'll be interesting. Obviously, you may not see much at the start with the spray being a factor, but yeah, I wonder if with it being full wet, I wonder if these drivers may well compromise setups, so maybe that dry bit, because the weather forecast, it does give you an idea what's going to happen, but it's not 100% accurate on the timing, so we might see a bit more of a split grid than we normally do around here, because some drivers will go a bit different on setup. Yeah, it should be a good one though. The drivers could really start their flying laps.
Yeah, and this circuit, very famous for its track limit and how annoying they are for the drivers, especially with strict corner cutting rules on. I mean, just you can corner cut anywhere apart from turn 2 and 3, and turn 2 is literally a kink. So, I mean, it's gonna be very difficult for these drivers not to invalidate their lap times, especially in qualifying, and penalties might play a huge role at the end.
Yeah, I think they will. Maybe not as much as Canada round 1, but yeah, it'll definitely have a factor around here, as you mentioned, especially turn 1. It's so easy to run wide in turn 1 and get that track extension. And the final corner as well, there's several areas where it's easy track extending. And obviously, you've got the pit entry around here, and there may be some instances in the pit entry because it's not the easiest pit entry in the world. So that'd be another area to keep an eye out for tonight.
Yes, it will be, as there's yellow flags in sector 2. That's for ERT. Thomas going slowly to let someone by, and yeah, 14 minutes remaining. Still a lot of drivers yet to do their laps, a lot of them invalidating their lap times. So right now going on board with Ivor Bryn Mike, and he was held up a little by Jordan. I'm not sure if he was held up, maybe he got a little bit of slipstream from him, which would help him in the long run on this lap. So let's see how he does. Now going to the sector 2 split. What will it be for the Welsh driver? 28.7, and it's slower than the fastest one by Lawrence C, 28.3. Now will he abandon this lap or will he stay out? I think he's staying out. Yes, he is, but it's an invalidated lap time from him, so he'll have to go for another run in qualifying.
Yeah, you can tell he just took too much curb there and also instant validation. I don't think it's enough battery to do this lap this time, but yeah, he's going to have to go again. And you can do 2 laps around here, but your tyres will not be as nice for your second run. So yeah, we've got Kill playing our race winner last race on pole position over 2 tenths of Dexter. Now Dexter up in second place. What we're seeing since Dexter is he's quite good in races, but his qualifying form hasn't been that strong. And actually Dexter was our hot driver last week. It's mentioned he can't stop gaining place when he qualified. Keep it up, lad. And our co-driver was Mega Game. Obviously, I'll drive him all the way back in season 1. He mentioned no point and receiving the wrath of the stewards for not disclosing his task details. Needs to work a lot more in order to turn the season around. I say, thankfully tonight he has got his task sorted, so he won't get a penalty for that this week. But he has had penalties for that in the past 2 weeks. That's put him on 1.5 penalty points.
Yeah, and now with a lot of these drivers in the pits, I'll just run you through what happened last week. And in case you missed last week or simply have forgotten, we raced at the circuit, the Spa-Francorchamps, where we saw Kill Plane taking the checker flag. Behind him was championship leader ERT Thomas at his home Grand Prix. And in the last podium spot was the McLaren of Aero Specialist. It was a 2-4-5 for ERT as we saw Jordan and Dexter finish outside the podium. In 6th was Epic Scorpion. 7th went to Red Bull of Gazaman with just Mikey behind him. The second Red Bull of Truth finished 9th. Lawrence took 10th after being involved in an incident, kind of an incident. He was in dirty air of his teammate and he kind of lost his car, and the last 2 spots went to Sir Gwyneth and Trunders. Both Lawrence and Trunders took the 1 point for the fastest lap inside and outside the top 10 at the end of the day, and Jordan ended up winning the ERT Driver of the Day award.
Yes, it wasn't Jordan. He had a really good race. Not far. Only missed the podium by 1/10 of a second. And I wonder if Jordan may be fancying a podium this week. He mentioned on his pre-race interview, he was asked, "What's your goals this week?" And to get a better result than last season and to get a podium hopefully. And I think that's definitely on the cards of Jordan, who moved up a lot in the championship with that result last week.
He really did. And another driver who is wanting to get a podium today is Mega Gamer. And I mean, it is a bit out there for him. Second race this season, and I mean, if he can do it, then fair play. He said this is his favourite track, so if he does have the pace, then we could see him up there challenging the front.
Yeah, he had quite a strong qualifying in China. He was right up there China qualifying. He sort of failed on the ordinary race, obviously he's a bit rusty, but yeah, there's nothing wrong with having ambitious targets if you can match them, and it's great. But yeah, I believe you want to motivate yourself. Give yourself an ambitious target like that is definitely something to keep an eye out for us. So at the moment, we've got Kill playing on pole position with Jordan in second, Dexter in third, Lawrence in fourth, Quinneth in fifth, Thomas in sixth, Chunders in seventh, Matthias in eighth, Giggle, our new driver, replacing Flace, who had wheel shoes, in ninth, and Gazaman rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, so the grid looking very close, and the championship also looking very close right now. So after 4 rounds, I mean, we were expecting the field to spread out a little, but it's actually tightening up, especially up at the front.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so we had a very mixed. Yeah, obviously the championship is it's looking good for Thomas. You know, he's just consistently getting results. The other drivers around there have got the pace to keep up with him, but they're just not getting consistency which Thomas has had. Obviously, he's had 2 wins and a second place last week, and he's got a nice lead already.
He does, and as we are talking about the standings, I might as well hop onto them. It is ERT Thomas, as we mentioned before, who leads the championship at the halfway point of the season. Kilplane jumps up to second after his maiden win. Third is Lawrence, narrowly ahead of the McLaren of Lawrence D. In fourth is ERT Jordan. In fifth is Truth NRP, who is on the same amount of points as Aero Specialist. Gazman and Dexter in 7th and 8th, both of them on the same points tally. Bryn Mike in 9th on 19 points, and Scorpion behind him on 12 points. 11th is the second Welsh driver, Hookie, and behind him is Mikey on 10 points. Quinneth is in 13th with Astro on the same points as him. So the two teammates going head to head right now. 15th is King J on 8 points, and behind the Belgian is Trunders on 7 points. RNJS in 17th on 4 points, and Matthias in 18th on 1 point. And then the two drivers yet to score points this season are Fleiss and David.
Obviously with Giggle replacing Fleiss, and speaking of Trunders, well, it's all AlphaTauri front row at the moment. So yeah, the AlphaTauri team, they're looking to maybe have a late charge in the Constructors' Championship. Well, that's perfect for the moment, right looking out the front row.
Yeah, it's looking very good for them, and very unlike them, because Trunders, he's usually lower down the grid, just getting the points, Kilplane usually in the top 5. Bit of a dark horse there, but now 1-2 for them. I mean, there's still 7 minutes remaining in the session. It's looking like a great result for the AlphaTauris, at least in qualifying.
Yeah, I was on board with Thomas there, and he crossed the line. He did a 1:44, but he was invalid. Thomas is struggling to get a clean lapping down in 9th place at the moment. It's not what the championship leader needs. He's got 6.5 minutes to go. He needs to get a clean lapping because he does not want to be stuck in that traffic and seeing the likes of Kilplane and Jordan higher up on the grid.
He definitely does want to get in a lap, as he's been invalidating it a lot. 3:10 separating first and 9th, just shows how close this grid is. Truth NRP in 10th, and he'll be looking to close down the gap. So will the drivers behind him. David, right now, the man who's looking for a podium today, down in 11th, so not the best qualifying result for him so far, and Epic Scorpion yet to set a lap.
No, but Epic Scorpion last week, he had a strong race. He finished in 6th place, and yeah, it was a good turn of speed for the Haas man. Because he showed good pace during the race, and he managed to hug it together, which has been a struggle for him so far this season. And so yeah, it's going to be a good one for him. And yeah, obviously David, his teammate, the Haas team, the jumped ahead of Racing Point at the bottom of the Constructors Championship, and they'll be looking to jump up a few more places.
Yeah, they definitely will after, I mean, not the best start to their season. Both Ferraris missing. They are down nearly at the bottom of the constructor standings, so they'll also be looking to jump back into the season, especially in the second half, as they are not here right now, so that's unfortunate for them. Now just checking who to go on board with VRT. Jordan, he goes fastest right now on provisional pole position, 1 minute 3.345. So it's a very quick lap from Jordan and narrowly faster than Killplane.
Yeah, Jordan gained all his time in the last sector there. His final sector is a 10th quicker than the first round him. Considering that final sector's only 19 seconds, he definitely had a nice run through them last 2 corners. There's a lot of other guys. They're in the pits. We've got Matthias on the lap, but I believe he's coming in on an in lap. He's only got 1.5 litres of fuel left, so he's going to finish his lap and he's going to come in the pits. He's taking quite the aggressive pit entry there. So Dave Hookie's on the lap in 14th place. I see how the Alfa Romeo man does. So he had a bit of a quiet season so far. Been looking to maybe improve a bit further. His personal best in the first sector. He's quite a decent first sector. He lost some time in the second sector. He may improve his time, but I don't think he might jump to the 10th place, but I don't see any higher for the Alfa Romeo man on the basis of this lap as he comes through the final 2 corners. It's so difficult to get right, but it's a nice one through there. Cross line, what can he do? What's he going to do? He moves up to 10th place there in 1:03.8. So he's only a few tenths off pole, but only down in 10th place. It shows you how competitive this grid is around the circuit.
Yeah, great prediction there from you that he'll only get 10th position, and he did. And now 3.5 minutes remaining, so I imagine a lot of these drivers will be going out for their last runs, maybe 2 if they somehow sneak it in. I mean, the lap time is nearly sub 1 minute, so they do have a chance, but it's a very slim one. So Epic Scorpion now, I think he's on a lap on used tyres potentially, as I imagine his first one was invalidated. Well, let's see how he's doing. 15.9 in the first sector, not too far off the fastest sector 1 set by Dex Dexter, but it's only sector 1, it's only 1 corner, so you should be very close to the pack through there. And now in the in sector 2, a little bit more technical, still very limited on the corners this track. And now through the sector 2 split, what is it, 28.532, 2 tenths slower than Thomas, who actually goes fastest right now, ahead of VRT Jordan, but still going on board with Epic Scorpion through the last 2 corners. Lucky not to get invalidated there, and what will it be? It's 10th position for the Haas driver.
Yeah, it's good to get a lap in though, because you know what you. That's the worst case scenario for a driver. Having all your laps invalidated, have to date for the end, because what I tend to do when it happens to me, I tend to be a little bit more cautious on the lap, and yeah, Epic Scorpion maybe looking to get validation there, but at least got time on the board. He should avoid being the back of the grid as just Mikey. He's in 16th place and stays there across the line there. I know it's ERT John, he's done 4 laps on his soft tyres, so yeah, he's got a good position, but the tyre wear may be an issue, but because it's a wet start, that will not be a factor. As Killplay across the line now, he was in 2nd place, so Thomas definitely pulled that lap out of the bag at the end there. He kept it together, and he's looking good for back-to-back poles. Can anyone match him? He's got Mike, he's got 2 green sectors, he's a 10th and a half up, he gets a good final run for it, made up the order into the top 4. What can he do? Moves up to, he stays in 6th place. He must have validated his lap. Yes, he did. is ERT Jordan called it a day, so he's had enough. What can anybody else do? Chief NIPs on lap. What can he do? The Red Bull man. He want to qualify a bit higher than 12th place. It's not been a good session with Red Bull man, but he's about 3/10 up on his lap so far. So this should move up the order if he gets a good run through the final 2 corners. Yes, he does. Can he get in that top 10? What can he do? He moves up to 11th place. So not the best qualifying for Red Bull so far.
Oh, it is now watching Kilplane. He invalidated his lap time, so I imagine he might be going for another lap. MFC Trunders, he is going to go on his flying lap very, very soon. And I'm just checking Matthias, he's into the pits, so he gave up on his lap. Epic Scorpion, he invalidated his lap time. Now seeing, is there anyone about to cross the finish line? Sir Quinniff, will he jump up any positions? No, he doesn't. That's qualifying over for the Williams man. Hooky will start his flying lap. Bryn Mike, he's going for another lap, I imagine. And now ART Dexter, let's see, across the finish line, what will it be for him? It's only 5th position, so I imagine he could have done a lot better. Trunder's still on a lap, Thomas not on a lap, so I think that might be pole position for Thomas, as Lawrence C, he crashes into the wall at the finish line, and it's not looking like anyone will improve.
No, Trunders has lost time in the second sector. He's valid anyway. So Mikey has a really strong first sector, but he's on slightly worn tyres, so he may suffer through the second sector. His teammate was behind him. I wonder if his teammate gave him a bit of a slipstream. We'll see. The second sector splits quite very shortly. Yes, he has improved in the second sector. I don't think there's a threat on pole position, but it may move up the order a little bit more. As Dexter did improve at the end there, but I wonder if Mike may jump the Mercedes man and get into... No, he doesn't, because he's invalidated the lap. What about Lawrence? What can he do? He's binned it, so his qualifying's over, and I believe Hook is qualifying now, and I believe that's the end of qualifying, because Quinniff is coming in the pits.
Yes, it is, and a little bit of an anticlimactic finish to qualifying. ART Thomas with back-to-back pole positions. Kilplane last race's winner in 2nd position. Half a tenth behind Thomas, and then 10 hundredths of a second behind him is ART Jordan, and then a further 3 tenths behind him was Trunders.
Yeah, got likes Dexter. Just say good qualification from Dexter. That's by far his best qualifying this season. He'll be happy about that. And I think Matthias, see the D's well, and Lawrence, obviously he could have won the last 2 races. He's a long way down in the order, so the McLaren man won't be happy with that. His teammate Aerospace is not here today, so the McLaren team are a bit hampered coming in tonight, as I will run down the grid for you. So in pole position we have ERT Thomas. In 2nd place you've got Kilplane. In 3rd place you've got ERT Jordan. In 4th place you've got Trunders. In 5th place you've got Dexter. In 6th place you've got Mike. In 7th place you've got Matthias. In 8th place you've got Lawrence, who's a premium driver. In 9th place you've got Sequinif, who's race premium. In 10th place you've got Epic Scorpion. In 11th place you've got Truth NRP. In 12th you've got Hooky. 13th you've got Mega Gamer, who's race premium. 14th you've got Giggle. 15th you've got Gazaman, who's race premium. And 16th you've got just Mikey, who's also race premium. So yeah, the Red Bull team will not be happy with that qualifying. But look at that, 2nd separated pole to 15th, and in the top 10 it was 5 tenths.
Yeah, so
nice close.
Yeah, very close between the drivers, and I must say that AlphaTauri and Mercedes both with a very good qualifying session for them. As we see now, heavy rain, so Gazaman, the weatherman, has predicted, right, I mean he didn't predict it, he saw it on his dashboard, but thanks for the information. I was just saying how in qualifying we saw Mercedes and AlphaTauri both quite close together on the grid, and then we saw ERT Jordan in 3rd, and then just Mikey all the way down the grid in last position. So it's a little bit like Red Bull in the past few years with Max Verstappen, their top driver. I mean, being up top all nearly every single race, and the second driver just not really performing, and that really hinders them.
Yeah, and in a rat race, it's going to be quite difficult for him to progress through the field. And obviously, I will mention the stewards briefing. The action zones are turn 1, turn 3, and turn 4. And as I mentioned, the pit entry, it says here that the stewards decided the entry to the pit lane does not need to be followed. They decided that slowing down before the corner could potentially be dangerous to upcoming drivers. If the driver wants to pit, he can take the penultimate corner as usual and pit in the final corner. Though if a driver still needs to be aware that drivers around him as causing collision is a real threat to drivers into the pit lane. Drivers behind might be caught up by driver entering the pit lane. Entering the pit lane in the safe manner as possible is a must to avoid picking up a penalty. As the 4 laps underway, and yeah, and intermediate tires all round, with no surprise there. Thomas, yet another position for Mercedes, man.
Yeah, well done to him, and the Inters, no big surprise. But just before we get started, I'll run you through the Constructors really quick, as it is a very short lap time. In the Constructors, we see Mercedes leading the way on 95 points. Behind them is the orange outfit of McLaren. In third, we see Red Bull, and fourth goes to their sister team, AlphaTauri. Renault still in fourth on 48 points, and Alfa Romeo are in sixth on 31 points. Renault are in 5th, sorry about that. Williams in 7th on 23 points. Both Ferrari and Haas are on 12 points. And last comes Racing Point on only one singular point this season. And now, as these drivers are coming up to the double right-hander, we'll be ready to start this race shortly. And do you have any predictions about anything really? Safety cars, podium positions?
I think we'll see a safety car today. I think with the change of conditions, drivers may be on tyres that are not ideal for track conditions. I think we may see a few DNS3 safety cars. But I'm going to make a prediction here. If you finish the race tonight, you're going to score a point.
Yeah, that is a very good prediction, especially with 16 drivers. But I remember one time commentating here in one hub, similar conditions, and there was nearly no incidents. So we might see that again. Depends how aggressive these drivers are. But now, as we're waiting for the last man to line up on the grid, just Mikey, and waiting for the red lights to go on. It's 3, 4, 5. Red lights out in the Alps, and we go. Killplane slowing in behind Thomas. He'll try to go down the inside of the Mercedes driver. It's a 2-3 for AlphaTauri, as there's many drivers going 3 wide into turn 1. I don't think I've seen any spinners. No, I haven't. And now Lawrence D, he's going to go for a move on Epic Scorpion. Will he be close enough? Yes, he will. He pulls alongside him. And now into the hairpin he goes, as we see there a massive launch from the Williams driver. And that's Dexter going half round after the contact with Sir Gwyneth. Sir Gwyneth completely outbraking himself. Now we see the drivers going 3 wide. The two Alfa Romeos, Red Bull driver, they're all battling out for position here on lap 1. That is hooking onto the gravel, so that's not the best race start from him, and it is a very chaotic start, I must say.
Yeah, chaotic there, yeah. Terrible start for John, he just didn't get any traction, yeah. I noticed that Sir Gwyneth had wing damage early on lap 1, and yeah, he broke far too late to turn through there and hit the back of Dexter, and them two involved the incident in Singapore, I believe, so I won't be surprised that goes stewards again, because Dexter lost a lot of places there, but a good start at Lawrence, 4th, that's what he needed, and so Epic Scorpion, they're the two big ones off the line, as Sir Gwyneth is coming in the pits to replace his wing.
He is, so that will be one stop done from his strategy. I imagine he can go on a 2-stop for another stop from there and be safe, but now looking at the grid, and hopefully the timing glitch will fix itself so I can go through these drivers properly. And it seems like there's no overtaking really happening right now, as everyone's stuck behind each other in these very tricky conditions. I imagine a lot of these drivers will probably not be going for the move right now, as they'll probably just be trying to pressure each other into a mistake.
That's a problem with racing on this league race, on this game. You get one in the pack, and overtake is very difficult. So you got no DRS, and the ERS is not as effective in the wet weather because you don't need to save as much. So yeah, we do tend to see in the wet race sometimes it just tends to be a bit possessional. So we see at the moment there, but Thomas, Kilplane, and Chunders and Lawrence need that start though, because obviously we did mention as the two Alpha Towers are threatening each other into the final corner. Kilplane just hang on though, but it looks like Chunders maybe it's the quicker of the two drivers. ERT Thomas sets the fastest lap and he's pulled up a 1 second gap already. Obviously there'll be no DRS in the wet weather, but it's good to get that good lead and get in the rhythm at the lead. Obviously he's got a clear track, everyone else behind him is having to see some spray, and these two Alpha Tauri guys, they're looking quite close together, and we've got Jordan and Epic Scorpion back with the 6th place. Jordan trying to recover from that poor start he had. He's gaining on the back of the Haas man, he's braking really late, but as you mentioned, it's just so hard overtaking the wet round here.
Epic Turbine, he was going for a move on Lawrence. He got squeezed out a little. He wasn't fully alongside him, so Lawrence did not have to leave him the space, and it just shows that moves in the wet are really risky. And I imagine Scorpion won't be going for something as audacious as there in the future, at least in the wet.
We've got Trooper and RP in 8th place. He's the back of Matthias. Matthias, obviously, he's looking like he's struggling a bit in his conditions. He's got a 2.5 second gap to get ahead. And Trooper and RP, if he wants to reset his championship charge, he has to make some places and pretty quickly, because he can see their top 6 pulling away. He looks so much more confident than the Racing Point guy, but you can't really get him moving into turn 1. He's got to try and look for a good exit out of turn 1 through the turn 2 kink and try and get an opportunity into turn 3 as the front 4 are starting to close up on each other. But yes, Sequinith is obviously pitted, so he's got a penalty. But what could you find RP do? He's using an overtake, but he's not really gaining. The slipstream doesn't seem that effective in the wet weather, but he's going to have a move. We know Truth and IP's late on the brakes. What can he do about this? He can't do anything about it. He's very late on the brakes, but Matthias covered the line, and he's going to keep the position. But Truth and IP needs to get this moving quickly, because you can see them front guys pulling away.
Yes, they are, and Matthias is really just holding him up right now. Further down the grid, we see a battle for a 12th position. ERT, Dex, Dexter, and Hooky. I mean, all these drivers are very close to each other, so they are in a very awkward position right now, as they are close to each other. They can't overtake, so they're really just trying not to play bumper cars with each other.
No, yeah, but Hooky's got good running on Dexter here, but it's the final 2 corners. Even the dry overtake's quite difficult, final 2 corners, as Thomas sets yet another fast lap, and Dexter definitely to get affected by that lap when it's Mr. Quinniff. So yeah, it's really tough for him here, because he had a really strong qualifying, but obviously if you do get tapped down the back like that, it's just so unfortunate for him, and he's been involved in so many Black 1 instances this season. Dexter, it's really hurt him, but the Mercedes team have definitely recovered well from it, and they're looking quite strong here. And actually Thomas asked that in the press conference, and he said the first race wasn't great for them, but they've been picking up the pace, and they're saying they're going to focus on getting good results without DNFs, and he thinks the double championship for Thomas is on.
It really could, and Dexter, he has to put up his game right now if he wants that to happen, as Truth and RP got ahead of F1 Matthias, so he's done with the little bit of traffic, and he will be hunting down the leaders. ERT during 3 seconds ahead of him, so he'll be on a charge right now. Hooky still looking very close to ERT Dexter, so we could see a move happen there. Mega Gamer, he is getting very close to the back of Just Mikey, as Gazman got ahead of Giggle, and I imagine Giggle made a little bit of a mistake there, because that is not really an overtaking spot, even in the dry.
No, yeah, Giggle has great experience with us. He had 2 podiums in season 11 podium tier, which was the bottom tier at the time. So yeah, he just have experience for us. He has had some good form in the past. Obviously, season 11 was a long time ago on F1 2017. They made a bit of rust shown here for the Racing Point man, as Epic Scorpius came already, and he was in the rivalries, and he was asked about his driver Fleiss, who was left. He was asked, are you confident you've already done enough to avoid finish bottom with 6th place? And He didn't answer that question, but I think he said, yes, I think I've done enough there. That some of the guys at the back shouldn't score points, and I think I can definitely pick up some momentum. And he's shown it now in 5th place. And Fleiss was asked why it has been carried by one driver in most tiers, and I think maybe he might have said, obviously he's left now, he might have said, well, I guess has operated one-man team, like, so they only focus on one driver across the tiers. They've got a spinner.
Yeah,
Like
that's
Hooky.
2 spinners, Hooky and it was Giggle, who both went lawn mowing there. And Hooky, he doesn't have a front wing, he doesn't have part of his front wing, so that's going to be him into the pits. I'm not sure about Giggle. I think he'll be safe to stay on. Hooky now 10 seconds time penalty for exceeding track limits. I imagine that will be taken off after the race. And now Quinniff, he's going close to him. And yeah, that's Hooky in the pits.
Yeah, he should have made the pits there. Locked up there. He had slight wind damage already, like 6%. But yeah, it's not really. It's just been a struggle for the Alfa Romeo man. He's in the pits now. He's going to change tyres, put a fresh wing on, and he's just got a hope for a safety car. That's the only. For these back three, the only hope for them to really get a result is probably a safety car. And we have to say it's been quite a clean race. Obviously, the wet weather sometimes does take away from the racing, but I have to say, apart from those spins, I've not seen too much contact apart from Sir Quinniff on Dexter lap 1.
Yeah, right now this race really be going an endurance race, unlike F1. I mean, we are just seeing people making mistakes, no real overtaking. I imagine that will all be done under strategy, and we've seen in the past how good the undercut is, especially in this tier. So we might see that happen yet again. Epic Scorpion getting very close to the back of Lawrence C now, and I imagine he'll be trying to go for a move very soon on the McLaren driver. And now into the hairpin turn 3, and I think he's a little bit too far away to make a move into turn 4.
Side by side in turn 1. Mike's going to have the inside line. Just Mike, maybe I'll do a switch back though, but yeah, Mike's already covered. What about Mega Gamer? He's going to have a run here. He might have run both of them here though. Gets a little bit levy, but it's going to be side by side of the Realm Man. He's going to have the inside line. Will he be last late breakers here? If his breaks out. He's got to be careful. He didn't win the back of the Alfa Romeo man. And Mega Gamer side by side, just Mikey. You can run side by side here. You can maybe get good exit on the outside for just Mikey's sake, and he covers it off. But I think Mega Game's got the move done. Just Mikey though, still in there with a chance, and Mega Game gives him room, but Mega Gamer's through, and from looking to move up to 9th place, just Mike's lost the place, and Dexter he's on the back of this, so is Gazerman. So this back of the midfield is looking very competitive.
It really is. As now Hooky, he has left the session now, so he gave up on his race. The RT Dexter now right at the back of Mikey. So Mikey from 10th, he might even drop another position, as that is Giggle, I imagine, yet again spinning. And now Mikey with not the best exit there. So Dexter, he'll try to make the most of it. What will he do? He's not using overtake mode just yet. Just Mikey showing himself in the mirrors of Mega Gamer while defending from ERT Dexter. Dexter going the long way around the outside. And they're still going side by side now. Overtake mode engaged finally for the Danish driver, but I don't think it'll be enough for him, or will he? He's very late on the brakes, and I think that's the job done for him. Yes, it is, as just Mikey loses the control of his car a little. So now Gasman, he could be looking for a move on just Mikey, but I don't think he is quite close enough to the Renault.
No, yeah, good racing there between Dexter and Mike, and Dexter covered off the line at the end there to make sure Mike didn't fight back, and Gazerman, he's down in 13th place, and he needs to make some moves because the Red Bull team, this is not true for that. He's made some decent progress. DSS is enabled, so expect to see loads of guys coming to pick the 6. Jordan staying out though. Jordan maybe missed the call there, and obviously with such a late call, you got to be careful. You put the right tyres on. Thomas is on softs, Killplane's on softs, so's Epic Scorpion. The majority of jobs are going on soft tyres, and we may see. Obviously, we expect to see rain later, but I expect these softs should go a long way in the race. It's the likes of Mike and Gaza going on the medium tyres, but nobody's made the mistake going on the wrong tyres. But Jordan, I think, is going to lose a lot of time there because he wasn't able to pit.
I a lot of these drivers pitted in, and Jordan, he just decided not to pit in for some reason. He thought it wouldn't be quite dry enough, but the RS got enabled as soon as these drivers went into the pits. So Jordan, very unlucky, and he is staying out. 11 seconds the gap is between him and Thomas, and this really hindered his chance for a podium tonight, as now Mega Gamer and X-Dexter, they are going side by side into turn 4, and it is some amazing racing from the two of them. We see now when it is dry here at the Red Bull Ring, we can see some amazing racing. Now Dexter, has he made the move down? Yes, he has. And finally we see these cars at full speed, and it's a marvellous sight, as now Mega Gamer, he will be trying to go to get a move back on Dexter. I imagine he's going to try to get that very soon, especially with DRS available now for these drivers, as Dexter gets onto the grass a little, so that helps the Haas driver to catch up to him. And now he misses the apex to turn 1, so that isn't the best news for him.
No, Killplane, he getting a lot of time in the pits. He's right back at Thomas. He's so much more comfortable on these dry tyres. And the bad news for AlphaTauri in the other front though is his teammate Chunders. He lost out massively in double stack. He's down to 8th place, and Lawrence and Epic Scorpion, they gained places, and Jordan comes out in 5th place. So it could have been a lot worse for the Renault Manners, who got Truth NRP getting the move on the tyres, and look at Chunders.
Oh, that's Chunders in the wall. Oh, disaster for the AlphaTauri man, and that will be a lot of points lost for the AlphaTauri team. He tried to go for a move on Matthias, but Matthias just closed the door very aggressively. So that might be taken to the stewards by Trunders. I'm not too sure, as there is a spinner yellow flags. I imagine that is Sir Quinniff. Yes, it is. So his day is going from bad to worse. Matthias with a 3-second time penalty. And yeah, Trunders very unlucky to get caught up in that.
Yeah, Dexter's caught there in the pit entry of Trunders, and they came out of a run, but though Dexter's recovered well, he's got a run at Mikey. Yeah, that was unfortunate for the AlphaTauri man. And look at Killplane, his teammates all the back of Thomas. He may get the lead here. Thomas, though, I will try and defend this, but Killplane looks so much more confident with these soft tyres. But Thomas has got decent rear line speed, and he hangs on just, but Killplane and Lawrence, I think, are closing on the lead, and Epic Scorpion's doing a solid job in 4th place as well. So yeah. Yeah, that was unfortunate for Chunders. I think that double stack has cost him. He's come out in the pits, had to change him, gone hard tyres to the end, and that is going to be a long slog.
It is, and now Dexter and Ivor Bryn Mike, they were going side by side, and Bryn Mike and Mega Gamer, they are going side by side now. And Mega Gamer, he leaves the position to him, but now he goes for the switchback maneuver on the Alfa Romeo. They're still going side by side. The medium tyres don't have as much grip as the softs, so that's Bryn Mike losing 2 positions here, and now back up to the front. Killplane 3/10 behind ERT Thomas with a good exit out of turn 1, so I don't think the AlphaTauri will be able to make a move into this hairpin. No, he won't. He shows himself in the mirrors of the Belgian driver. He's looking for that second win, and now with a very good exit, overtake mode engaged. DRS wide open. He's down the inside of ERT Thomas. I think that's a job done for him. Yes, it is. ERT Thomas trying to hang it around the outside, but Killplane says no to him, and that's Killplane up into 1st position. Thomas down into 2nd.
Yeah, that was quite an easy move down the DRS there. That's been threatened for a couple laps now, and what Killplane has to do, he has to pull away now and try and pull the gap, because the likes of Lawrence and the Epic Scorpion are starting to close in on Thomas. Well, Thomas does not look as comfortable in the dry weather as it did in the wet. I wonder if Thomas ran a bit of a wet self. Maybe he's hoping for that rain to come on a bit later, but yeah, that's a beautiful move there. Mega Gamer has spun it, I believe. Yes, he has. He's lost his wing, so our newer drivers are not having the best of races today. There's a few mistakes cropping in there. As Epic Scorpion, look at him all the back of Lawrence. This one Haas is having a really good race here, and Epic Scorpion may fancy it into turn 1, but I believe turn 3. But I believe the best opportunity will be turn 4. Looking to get a good exit on here, maybe pressure the McLaren into a mistake, and Lawrence has run a bit deep there, but Lawrence gets a decent exit, and that might be enough for him to keep the position. You've got an excellent exit there, the McLaren man, and Epic Scorpion, unless he sends a dive bomb down inside here. He's not getting this move, but no, he doesn't. But yeah, that McLaren guy seems to have really good traction. Look at Killplane, he's pulled a 1.2 second lead already.
Kilpain doing an amazing job of at the front, and he is driving a very balanced setup. It is decent in the wet and it's good in the dry, so fair play to Kilpain, and he might win this again on setup and on strategy. We saw him last weekend do it on strategy, and I mean he still had the pace, so fair play to him. As now Epic Scorpion, he is closing back up to Lawrence C. Now again with DRS open, he's looking very close to the McLaren, and now he's very close to the back of him. He's gonna go the long way around. I imagine he can make the move stick just before the corner. Yes, he does. So that's Lawrence Z down in fourth, but I imagine Lawrence Z, yes, he will have DRS on the Haas driver, so that might not have been the wisest move from him. And Lawrence Z, he is back on the offense. Will he go for a move that around the outside? He will go, and he goes on the curb a little. He outbrakes himself a little, but he manages to still go side by side with the Haas driver, and I imagine Scorpion will have to concede the position. Yes, he does. He tries to go for a switchback. Will he be able to do it? No, he doesn't. He just gets squeezed out by Lawrence E. Just doesn't get enough room there, and that's Lawrence E back up into third.
That's the downside of DRS. If you get rid of early on, you could definitely be caught again. And yeah, as you mentioned, speaking of that earlier on, I was spotted with Dexter. He got past Matthias. He got really bad with damage in lap one, but turn one. But he got repassed in DRS now towards side to find the corner. Matthias is not his wing, but he's very brave there to fight around the outside. But Dexter gets the move done, and yeah, Dexter's going to pull away. Matthias, he's got really bad wind damage and he's losing a lot of place there. But yeah, I to say, as Epic Scorpion, he's got Lawrence again. He's going to get him now, but will Lawrence do the same? He's going to threaten it, but Epic Scorpion gets the better exit this time. But Lawrence is in that slipstream zone, and Lawrence seems running a very slippy car. And look at him, he's gaining. Look how much he's gaining down this straight. It's going to be quite an easy move for him, but will Scorpion defend the outside? He can, obviously.
Oh, he breaks himself a little, and that's Epic Scorpion trying to go for a switchback, and I don't think it will work yet again for the Haas driver. Lawrence E very lucky not to put in the gravel, and that's him retaining that third position. And yeah, Scorpion, I imagine he'll try to go for a move into turn 4 this time, into turn 3, as it hasn't worked out for him on 2 occasions now. So yeah, I imagine he's learned from his mistake, and the German will go for a move later on.
Yeah, so turn one's just not a nice opportunity anyway, and you just get done by 2 DRS straight. So yeah, gets a decent extra half span here. Look how much he's gaining. Lawrence gives him room. He's going to be side by side. Episode's got moved done quickly, but if I was Lawrence, I'd be looking just to maybe win and get a good exit out of this turn 3. You may have a chance to really pass, but no, it's close again. Lawrence makes moved done again. Matt McLaren is really quick down the straight. Epic Scorpion gets a really exit. Epic Scorpion is defending, it's breaking the toe, and I believe now he's finally got the move done. It's just Mikey and Matthias going side by side. It's Mega Gamer has DNF'd. I believe that's in the final. Yeah, the pit entry. I wonder if that'll be a safety car. Look, he's lost it in the pit entry wall there. That's our first DNF, and Epic Scorpion has now got the move done.
As I see some rain on the chassis of the cars, so rain is back here in the Alps, and I imagine the drivers will be pitting in very soon. Mega Gamer in a very dangerous position, but of course it is an F1 game, so nothing will happen to that. Matthias gets ahead of just Mikey, and it is just moments, I imagine, before the drivers will pit in for another wet stint.
Yeah, they will, for certain, as the fastest amount of track past few laps has actually been Sir Quinniff down in 14th place, but obviously he had them spins early, and that cost him a lot there. I reckon it'll be 2 or 3 laps before the intermediate weather, as you see that Thomas there gets a little bit sideways. So yeah, I'm saying 2 or 3 laps, but the race coming down a lot now, and I think it may not be too long. The race is quite heavy at the moment. Obviously, it's still dry track, but these conditions, these are the worst possible conditions. Slick tyres on a track that's getting damper. It's just the grip, every corner, the grip level changes, and you have to brake that little bit early. It's so easy just to lock a wheel and go off. So these drivers, they're going to have to bear it for a couple laps. As Chunts and Quinniff are in already. Obviously, they're at the back of the field, so they'll be gambling on an early set of intermediate tyres. What the lead's going to do? Are they going to stay out?
DRS has been disabled. Kilplane ERT Thomas, I imagine everyone will come in, unless you're ERT Jordan, who decided to stay out. He's deciding to pit in this time around. So he's not going to gamble anytime soon. Yellow flag, who is that for? That is for Bryn Mike. And that's unfortunate for him. He's going to have to pit in, potentially even for a front wing change. As now, yes, we see all these drivers coming in for the intermediate compound of tyres. And yeah, I think that's every single one of them in.
Yeah, I'm not surprised when Mead has put it there, because obviously in each competition, the Mead has given up a script. Luckily though for Mike, he lost time by the spin, but thank for him, it is in their pit window, so he won't lose as much time as he would normally, as he comes in the pit slowly now, and yeah, Killplane's got a 1.9 second lead, but he mentioned earlier on that Thomas looked a lot more comfortable in the wet weather, so we'll see the Mercedes man, but look at Scorpion, he's on the back of Thomas. Scorpion got removed on Lawrence, and Scorpion's over the back of Thomas now, so the Haas guys, they're pulling off a great pits up there, and this will be interesting to see how this Haas man does, how he can maybe threaten these front two later on, and Lawrence, he'll be looking just to conserve in 4th place, but likes of Jordan, Truth, Dexter, Mikey, Gazda, Matthias and Chunders coming to the pits, and you have to giggle, and Hooky, that's doing a whole extra lap on them dry tyres, which would not have been that nice.
It definitely wouldn't, and these conditions, I must say, must be very uncanny for these drivers, going from wet to dry to wet again, and just having that one stint on the dry tyres. And I think it was even when the softs were about to fall off. So I mean, that was a very well timed weather from from the clouds. And yeah, Scorpion now at the back of ERT Thomas, and you won't be able to make an easy move on him due to the fact that there's no DRS now.
No, there isn't, and the Haas and the racing point, Gigo's getting lapped by them guys. Obviously, the ghosting is on, but you still have to, as lap guy, get out of the way, and does nicely there. But yeah, these front three seem to converge on each other. But yeah, the overtake's going to be very difficult, because obviously in the wet weather, I believe if Thomas can get the move done, I believe he's got to land a mistake from the Alpha Tauri man. Have they got another spinner, I believe?
It was really like Sir Gwyneth, a little bit off the road, but nothing too major for him. Epic Scorpion half a second behind the championship leader, and Epic Scorpion, I mean, really a dark horse this season in the championship, kind of staying around that best of the rest tag, 12 points to his name, 10th in the standings, and if he gets a podium here, this would really elevate him in the standings.
Yeah, but Epic Scorpion does have a time penalty, 3-second time penalty. Obviously in the wet weather you tend to get less penalties because drivers tend to push the curbs a bit less there. So yeah, at the moment he's in 3rd place, but if the race ends now he'll drop to 4th place. So Epic Scorpion could fill the gap to Lawrence. The best way for him to fill the gap when we try to get a move on Thomas, as I believe these front three, I believe at the moment in the wet weather, the pace order of these front three are the reverse of what we see on track. So this could be a very intriguing final 16 laps.
Yeah, it's going very good for the spectators, as that is Bryn Mike again off. So the two Alfa Romeos not having a good day in the office, and the gaps are starting to build up right now. Epic Scorpion falling out of that overtaking zone. He's going to be probably 1 second behind the Belgian driver very soon, as that's Bryn Mike retiring from the session in the pits. He must be very annoyed by himself and by the team in general. Not the best performance, and I imagine Hooky, he is already a lap down, so yeah, it's not looking good for them.
No, Mike's had a weird season. Obviously, he had the pole position at Singapore, and he was the quickest guy at Singapore. Maybe he obviously won. Maybe should have won that race. He got 2nd place, but apart from that, he's had a 15th, a 15th, a 14th for the DNF. So this is very much like Pastor Maldonado in 2012 for Mike. He had one really good result, and the rest not, and that's a bit disappointing for him, as Thomas is coming under severe threat from Scorpion. But Scorpion, he can't really. It's not really where he can overtake. That's the difficulty for him. As obviously Chunders, he was very unlucky in that first pit stop. And there's a question about the 2 stop, and Gazza actually mentioned this. It's Gazza thinks he's been hindered this season by the double stacks. Under the safety car, he said, but he thinks the two-stop's a great concept. And Chunders didn't lose out because of the safety car, lost out because of the change of conditions. He was looking to recover in 11th place, but it's a long way back. And he was looking struggling early on as Thomas took a penalty, and that gives Kilplane a bit of respite.
Yeah, now Lawrence C 1.8 seconds behind the two, so the gap is falling between him and the podium positions, so that will help him in the long run with penalties, and even if he wants to do it on track, that will help him as well. By Epic Scorpion now 2 tenths behind the championship leader. He shows himself in the mirrors briefly, but he's not close enough to the back of the Mercedes to go for a move just yet. And now he doesn't get the best traction out of that third corner, so he will probably be staying behind him for another lap, just staring at that red blinking light at the back of Thomas.
Yeah, that light's at the back of that whole race, it can really do your head in. So yeah, we wouldn't get by, but it's in wet conditions, very difficult. Yeah, Lawrence at the moment he's on for second place, and the moment Kilplane and Lawrence still be taking points out of Thomas as this stands. The championship will close a bit, so that is good to see. Obviously, Lawrence he lost out a lot in Spain and in Belgium, and he needs to pick up a few wins to get back on that championship. But Kilplane, this is looking good for him so far. He's definitely, we saw he was consistent early on, but now he's starting to pick up the really good. Now he's starting to run at the front, and Kilplane maybe starting to late charge his championship. Scorpion's lost a little bit of ground to Thomas that lap, and I believe these front two, the sort of converging on each other. As Kilplane's really come out in front. He's a lot more comfortable than the first stint, where he was struggling a little bit.
Yeah, Scorpion had a very big moment, sideways moment, at the exit of turn first, so that really hindered his race and his gap to Thomas. But he is looking like he's gaining it back. 1.4 seconds the gap is between Kilplane and ERT Thomas, so Kilplane looking very safe right now. But he must not relax up there, as a few tenths and they are within slipstream range.
Yeah, and obviously last week, this was the front row last week on the grid, Kilplane and Thomas, and the finish in reverse order, and it's looking the exact same so far, so we've got a big consistency there. As obviously you mentioned last week, across all 5 of our teams last week, we had the first one of racing, like all 10 teams score a podium, so that's good to see, as all 10 teams getting at least one podium last week, and that shows you how close these teams are across all tiers.
That's great to see, and hopefully we see some more variety in the podiums this season in points here, as we've seen a lot of the Mercedes, one of the Mercedes, ERT Thomas. He's been on the podium a lot of times this season, to say the least. So hopefully we will see that change, and yeah, Kilplane with 1 podium here, just going through the top 4. Kilplane with 1 podium, Thomas with 4 podiums, and then we have Thomas with 5 podiums, and we got Lawrence D with 4 podiums, and then Epic Scorpion, I think he has 0 podiums. Yes, he does, so it could be a very first for him, but he has to pray that Lawrence D falls back behind by 3 seconds.
Yeah, Lawrence lost a bit of time this last lap. He's not such a good lap there for Lawrence at the moment. Lawrence is on for 3rd place, but Thomas maybe safe in 2nd, as Thomas is starting to close a little bit in Kilplane, but the gap's still held around 1 second there. Scorpion, he's around 4 tenths around, but it just doesn't look like it's going to happen, as Gazzaman is closing on just Mikey for 8th place. Obviously Gazzaman, he was running at the back early on, but he's kept that trouble, and the 2 Red Bull guys, they're going to be on for points again, but 6th and 9th so far. It's decent points for them, but it's not the sort of points you need to be getting if you want to win the championship. You need to be getting top 5s and podiums. It's just, ever since the first was of Canada, which went so well for them, which Gazzaman, it should have been 1-2 Red Bull in Canada, ever since then it's just sort of gone a bit downhill for them.
Yeah, it really has. This Epic Scorpion now loses the back end a little, so that's him again around 8 tenths behind Thomas. But I must mention one thing I'm seeing right now on my laptop. ERT Thomas with his tyre wear 25% on his worst tyre compared to Kilplane's 34%. We saw Kilplane last weekend, 70% on his tyres at the end of the Grand Prix. He got very lucky there to make it to the end. And Thomas, he is a little bit of a Sergio Perez here. Just amazing on the tyres, really careful. And so is his teammate ERT Dexter. His highest tyre percentage is 22%, so them two doing an amazing job, and I imagine they have a pretty similar setup as yeah, they're doing a very good job conserving these tyres.
Yeah, also the other EAT John, that's a good tyre wear, and yeah, obviously, we had 7 laps of these tyres, there's 10 laps to go. Killplaner, looking at tyre wear, I'd be a little bit concerned about will them tyres get to the end. You'd be hoping this track drives up a bit, maybe going slicks, but yeah, cause that, at the moment, he's going to struggle to get them tyres to the end, and Thomas, I think maybe he's just driving a bit like Lewis Hamilton, maybe driving a bit conservatively, maybe not pushing as much as he can. He knows then keep the Haas man behind. Obviously, Lawrence has got a penalty, so yeah, Team Jordan with them tyres, you never know if he can pick up the pace a bit more. ERT Jordan may get the podium tonight, but it's a 7-second gap, so he's going to have to pick up the pace a bit more. But it's another solid drive for Jordan, another top 5 finish, and it reminds me from the House race. I used to get a lot of top 5 finishes, but it took me a long time to get the podium, and Jordan's looking similar, but he should be happy at the way he's driven tonight. A solid drive for him as True Friend RP in 6th place and Dexter in 7th. I wonder where Dexter would have been without that one incident. He might have been up there with Lawrence and Scorpion, I believe.
Yeah, Scorpion 6-10, 7-10s behind ERT Thomas, and it's just not looking likely that he's gonna get past him. And 8 laps remaining. Killplane, if I was Killplane right now, I would really conserve my tyres, just ease it a little, as the 3 behind him are all on time penalties. So Killplane, if he just doesn't get a time penalty, he is very safe.
Yeah, and he's got the 1 warning so far, so yeah, he's looking good on that so far. Yeah, so he's doing a solid job, just doing the perfect job he needs. He's got 2 warnings to play with, and yeah, the gap sort of staying the same. I wonder if Thomas is maybe happy with 2nd place, maybe just happy with the points, maybe thinking strategically. Obviously, Killplane will gain 3 points on him at the moment, but it's not a disaster for Thomas. At the moment, he will have a 14-point lead over his main protagonist for the title. So yeah, I wonder if Thomas maybe thinking long game here. His Epic Scorpion, he's getting close, but he just can't overtake in the wet. It's just looking pretty much impossible for that overtake to happen in the wet.
It's not looking very likely, and he'll be praying that the dry weather comes back, but as I say, it's not looking likely that it is. The clouds are all over Spielberg right now, and Lawrence Z, he falls down 3 seconds behind the Haas driver. So bad news for Lawrence Z if Scorpion was to get another 3-second time penalty. And yeah, these gaps are very big right now. Only other battle right now happening on track, quote unquote battle, is Gazaman, who is running close behind the Renault of Just Mikey, but not close enough for him to make any kind of move. He's just trying to pressure him into a mistake, and if he does make a mistake, he is ready to pounce on it.
Yep, so these two start at the back of the grid, and they made their way up to 8th and 9th, so decent recovery drives for them. And yeah, they're going to have a nice battle. Gazaman hasn't got a penalty, so he may have to sit behind the Renault man, but he's getting really close to the middle sector. But in the straights, the Renault man seems to pull away. It's one of the Renault guy who's running a dry setup. Is Epic Scorpion seems to always get within half a second of Thomas, but just can't seem to threaten. As Jordan is starting to slowly gain on Lawrence. So Jordan, he keeps his pace up. It might, by the end of the race, might be quite close to him and Lawrence factoring the penalty. But Killplane, he's just, I think he's maybe driving a little bit more conservatively, and the gap to Thomas is creeping up again. So it's looking good for him so far. But them tyres, just got to be really careful. Try not to do too much wheel spin, and he should take this race win. And so Gazet man he seems to Yeah, Gazman and Mikey. I think Gazman's just content to sit behind the red on man because you can see there's a big gap for the car ahead. So yeah, Gazman maybe content to do this 8th place finish from the back of the grid as he had so yeah, decent enough recovery drive, but not what he wants. I don't think.
Yeah, not what he wants in Kilplane. Looking at his tyre situation, 53%, 54% that one is a rear left tyre, so he has to be very careful with that wheel spin. And that divided by 11, 5% a lap. So if you were to do your maths with 5 laps remaining in the Grand Prix, you will be on around 80% at the end, which is definitely in puncher territory. So he really has to ease off his tyres right now.
Yeah, it's just coming to lap. Yeah, he's just got to be really careful. And maybe something, maybe a little virtual safety kind that might help him out a little bit. But yeah, he's got to be really careful. And we just saw a few punches in the last. We've seen a few punches already this season. And it may seem a bit more drama as Childers whips up penalties teammate in 11th place. I think he's got that wet setup on, but after a decent first stint, it all went downhill for him after the double stack, as ERT Jordan is 6 seconds behind Lawrence, and if Lawrence picks up another penalty, Jordan may jump up, but it's looking like 5th place for him. It's quite spread out outside the top 4.
It is quite spread out, and yeah, Scorpion, he is just sitting right behind him. I imagine how frustrating that must feel for the German driver. Just he can't get close to him. I mean, I imagine he has the pace, especially in the try. I imagine we will be seeing a long battle here for these podium positions. But right now, it's just not looking like it, is it? With less and less laps remaining in the race.
No, well, Scorpion left off a lot of work to do after qualifying. He qualified down in 10th place, but he had that really strong start up to 5th place. And maybe if he qualified a bit higher, maybe he could have threatened these front two. And that dry stint wasn't long enough for him to make impact because he was gaining on Thomas, but if maybe that dry stint was a lap or two longer, he may have got by the Mercedes van. You never know. He may be thinking about a different race. But I think Scorpion, he'd be happy just to pick up a podium. I think that's going to be a really good result for him. He can take a lot of pride in the race driven tonight because he really has driven a very mature race. As Lawrence is slowly dropping off these guys, and Lawrence is looking like 4th place for him as Kilplane. 4 laps to go. How are them tyres looking for him? Because they are not looking that nice. He may run a bit late. Look, though, he's got 62% rear left, so this is going to be very touch and go for him. And do you think he'll get a punch on the last lap? I think he might.
It is looking very likely, I must say. I imagine over the radio right now he is screaming that his tyres are gone, but he would just lose too many places. If he does pit in, I imagine with the wet, the pit loss would be around 16 seconds, as the drivers are going slower. You're not going slower in the pits, so let's see the gap to leader. He would fall down to 5th position, which is definitely not what he wants, especially as he is in the contention for the championship right now.
No, he needs race wins. He's going to stay out. He needs race wins. He can't afford to get a 5th place. He needs to win races, so he'll definitely stay out and try. And I had another wheel spin moment there into turn 8. That's not going to help his cause. 3 laps to go, and I'm a bit nervous for him. This is going to be very tight if he can get to the end. But as Thomas is gaining, I think Kilplane has maybe dropped for pace a little bit. He can afford to let Thomas get by, but he can't afford to lose too much time battling Scorpion. So I believe if Thomas does sit at the inside in the final lap, I believe Kilplane will let him have it because he will still win the race. But yeah, these top 2 are definitely closing, and I tell you what, if penalties weren't a thing, this would be a really exciting finish.
It really would. It would kind of remind me of the Syrian Grand Prix when Checo, he had his damage, of course, on the last lap, and he was side by side with I think it was one of the McLarens and Lance Stroll across the finish line. So we might see a situation like that. And yeah, Kilplane, he doesn't really have to worry too much. I mean, yes, he has to worry about the puncher, but getting overtaken, there's a lot behind him, of 3 second time penalties, so he should be clear on that one, and he is actually pulling away from Thomas. I'm not sure if that is on raw pace or else Kilplane is pushing his tyres a little bit too much right now. Yeah, his tyres
Yeah,
70%.
yeah, it's going to be very tight for me. That was something Lando noticed in the steering Grand Prix. Obviously, the new state of steering Grand Prix will be returning on 2021 in July, so we've got 2 Austrian Grand Prix and we'll have to look forward to. But yeah, the 2 laps to go here, and yeah, Thomas, I think he'll be happy with second place, but he won't be crying if he sees that AlphaTauri man get a puncture. I mean, if Kilplane does get a puncture, it's looking good for Thomas in terms of championship. He will increase the gap further, and you have over race win lead. And Thomas, obviously, if he stays like this, if Kilplane wins, I believe the championship will still be on. But if he gets a puncture and drops a lot of places, then it's going to be very difficult for him. As we're about to start finding out now, we'll see what happens here. But I think Kilplane may just about be okay.
Yeah, it does look like he is going to be okay, and he is very lucky that he's going to be okay, at least according to our expertise. He can let ERT Thomas pass, that won't hinder him, but I doubt he will get past him, maybe until like the final corners, but it is difficult here in the wet to overtake. 16 lap pole these inters are. And just the tyre wear difference between these two, 20% between Kilplane and ERT Thomas, just shows how much better Thomas is on conserving his tyres. And now you see here Kilplane dropping off a little, going a little bit wide into turn 4, and now very struggling a lot on his tyres, and it will be a very interesting last sector for him, as I imagine he is praying not to get that puncher, especially on the last few corners, as it is very easy to spin out. And now across through the final 2 corners, the double right-handers, and it's a second win in a row for Kilplane. ERT Thomas comes home in second, Epic Scorpion right behind him in third position, Lorenzi in 4th, and what a Grand Prix it has been in the wet. Lots of mixed conditions. Well done to Kilplane, second win ever and second consecutive win. So the championship fight is on right now, and Kilplane, I was not expecting him to be in this championship fight. ERT Jordan in 5th, True NRP in 6th, 7th ERT Dex Dexter, and if you could run us through the rest of the finishing order.
Yeah, just Mikey in 8th place, cross 9 now, but guys, I'm real jumping into 8th. We've got Matthias who will get 10th place, and so you get 3 points for that. And we've got Chunders who will cross out in 11th, so Chunders will pick up some points. AlphaTauri, so Quinniff will get 12th. We'll get another points finish for Quinniff, and Giggle has been lapped, and Hooky, who obviously left early on, will cross line in 14th. And the fastest laps for you, inside the top 10, the fast lap does go to our race winner Kilplane, and outside the top 10 it will go to Sir Quinniff, who set the fast lap overall. So Sir Quinniff, we can get yet another fast lap, and Sir Quinniff, he may be getting a pair of gloves. He's set a few fast laps already this season.
Yeah, it's looking good for Sir Quinniff for those racing gloves. And now we see here Kilplane for the second time now. I mean, I'm not getting tired of it. It's someone else than ERT Thomas dominating. And yeah, that's him spraying the champagne on his competition, and well done to him. And yeah, the gap, if I'm not mistaken, will be now 14 points in the standings. So it is getting lower and lower, this gap, and hopefully we get to see a good championship fight.
Yeah, I think we will. This could be one that can run and run and run. These two have had the top 2 on the grid, the past 2 races, the top 2 in the race. And so yeah, but Scorpio, he had a really strong show, and I was impressed by him. He definitely showed some good form. And Lawrence in 4th place. Look, Lawrence is showing good pace consistently, but he had a bit of bad luck And without that bad luck, Lawrence could be up there, but it looks like it's going to be a kill plane versus Thomas title battle, and I can't wait. It's going to be good. Obviously, you've had a few title battles in your commentating career. I haven't really had one as a commentator, and hopefully we can see one here.
Yeah, title battles are really good, and I really enjoy them. But my question to you is, who is your driver of the day?
Well, I'm going to go with Epic Scorpion. I think he deserves it for third place and 10th on the grid. His first ever podium and a really good race. I'm going to ask him, your pace during the race in the wet and dry was impressive. Do you think with a stronger qualifying you maybe could have won tonight?
Yeah, then that could have been the case, really. And sorry to be boring right now with my driver of the day nominee, but it's gonna go to Killplane. He did start second on the grid, and he was nursing his tires home right at the end. And my question to him will be: you were good in the dry, not so fast in the wet, but you still managed to hold on tires on 75%. What were you feeling in the last few laps?
Yeah, that's a decent question. Yeah, two worthy nominees. Obviously, Killplane nominated twice in a row. He lost that last week to Jordan. But yeah, them two, obviously the press conference will be out late tonight and the drive day polls will be out tomorrow. So you get the whole weekend to vote for your drive of the day. And yeah, obviously, so yeah, I think they're two worthy candidates.
Yeah, in my opinion, um, I'm gonna back my vote. Killplane should win the driver of the day, but it's gonna be on Twitter, so do check that out when they are gonna be posted. And yeah, it was a very interesting race, very awkward for the drivers, I imagine. And do you have any last words for the race, for the stream?
Yeah, well, that's half season done. We're half through the season. Obviously, the championship's closing up. Killplane and Thomas, they look the two quickest drivers in the tier, so it should be quite a good battle. So next week we did go to the Circuit de Catalunya in Spain. So yeah, that's obviously a track which in real life maybe it's the most exciting track, but I think with that long pit straight we could see some good racing. And yeah, I'm excited for next week because I can see a bit of a I can see these two just pulling away and a bit like what you saw on the podium last season between the two Mercedes drivers, Coutinho and White Fountain. We could see these two just pull away, and you have to say shout out to Scorpion for that podium. Really good racing. ERT John, well, another good result for him. He's had a lot of top four, top five finishes, and yeah, I'm going to enjoy this weekend, and we'll see you all next week.
Yeah, goodbye.